Hello everyone, my name is Zenobia Reynolds Parks, aka Mrs.WifeyLyfe, and I was asked by Miss Pope to offer some tips and some advice and answer a few questions about image and branding as I am growing my own brand, WifeyLyfe, in the process. So I'm going to give you visuals and some insight into some of the pitfalls, challenges, and successes that I've experienced in my journey of creating the persona of Mrs.WifeyLyfe. Enjoy. What does 30 and thriving mean to me? Well, let's look at the definition of thriving. Thriving means to grow or develop well with vigor, to prosper and flourish. I would think it wouldn't matter what age you were that you would want to develop and grow. As life changes and evolves, so do the people that live in it. So I would hope that in life's journey, that as we move through decisions and work and children and family, that we've learned something in our 20s, so we're not making those same mistakes in our 30s, and that we're doing it with such confidence because we've already made the mistakes in our 20s. So now at 30, we should know those mistakes, have learned from those mistakes, and are going after the dream. What have I had to overcome to get to where I am today? That is a great question. It's very loaded. So let's start from the beginning. I was raised in a two-parent household. Both of my parents have been married for 47 years. I was allowed the opportunity to attend college. As a young adult, I also received my master's degree, and I have 20 years of experience in operations, from being a model, from single mother, raising a son, to dating in this world, to working as brand ambassador to so many different companies. I had to overcome self-esteem and self-confidence within myself and the things that I was learning as I was developing into an adult. Because just because you turn 21 and get your license that says you can drink, or you can get into the club or any establishment that only adults can go to, that's only the minute step. Is your mind ready to become an adult? Do you have enough wisdom to handle challenges as they come your way without breaking down and crying to someone? And not to say that crying to someone is a bad thing, because we all need to vent and let things go in however way that we need to. But in your 30s, we cannot continue to still make the same mistakes. We have to be able to go for it. And believe me, I am closer to 40 than I am 30, and time is running out. What else do I have to wait for? My children get older every day. I get older every day. My husband works hard every day. What am I waiting for? The trees grow taller every day, and the wind blows every day. We too need to continue to follow our dreams, even though our lives takes us in a different direction. That is what I have overcome, that I still dream, and I'm closer to 40 than I am 30. What advice would I give my younger self in your industry that could help other up-and-coming professionals? Well, the great thing about my business is that I am developing my own business strategy as I am going along based on me. So if I'm confident in myself and my skill set and my abilities, and then I add on all this schooling and knowledge and certificates that I've gained and companies that I've helped run, I'm taking all of that and adding that into my stewardship, into my wifey life, because I am all those things. And that makes me different from anyone else who's out here being a life coach or offering mentoring services and counseling sessions. Those are great, and I advise you to use those, because I too struggled with leaving my full-time job that I knew was going to help my husband and ensure that I was going to be taken care of, and stepping out on faith to follow a dream or a passion or to develop your own, to become your own boss, an entrepreneur, those are hard. Those steps aren't easy. And I think shows like Miss Pope and her platform allows us to meet one-on-one, so I can let you know that I intend on succeeding and you can also succeed. Now, just because my brand is in the beginning stages doesn't mean that I don't have information to share. And in that, I am blessed that I am even here today answering questions about tips that I'm using to brand WifeyLyfe and AskSnow Management and Events. This to me is unbelievable, and it's only the first step. So if I'm as excited about this and I am a wife, a stay-at-home wife, you too, if it's a student or you're a wife or a single mother, never stop dreaming. How does imaging and branding come into play in your 20s and 30s versus your 40s and 50s? Well, in your 20s and 30s, we're developing. We're becoming who we are. We're more experimental with life and trying new things. We have come out of college with all this book knowledge and ready to take on the world in our new jobs. Some of us get married and take on the responsibility of running a household. Some of us just wander and just try new things. So in your 20s and 30s, what I suggest my clients do is try to reach the stars, which was the same thing I did in my 20s and 30s, but I did it using different brands. I did it by being employed by the companies who already had established brands. I would work with Miller, be Hypnotic, be the face of this brand and that brand, come and be the background face of this artist and do this video, be a pretty face in this movie. I've done all those things, but it's not what I've done physically or what I saw is what's more important, on how they shot the video and what we did while we were told to hurry up and wait for the next scene or to be called to do the next task. I've done a lot of waiting in 20 years and watching and taking good visual mental notes that is helping me brand WifeyLyfe, and it's also helping me direct market to my clients for AskSnow Management and Events. AskSnow Management and Events is a management and event company. We throw events. I personally specialize in weddings because I enjoy doing weddings and taking care of brides and making sure that they don't have to worry about anything the day of their wedding. I find so much joy in just watching husbands and wives enjoy their day while I'm fussing with guests and family members on they would prefer the chicken over the fish. So again, branding and imaging comes into play soon as you decide that you want to live on your own and not take orders or instructions from anyone else. That includes your parents, whomever you lived with, as a young person. And when you make that step to say, I'm an adult and I'm going to take care of myself, then that's what you have to do. Just do it. If I were to talk to a client who was in their 40s and 50s, this is where those listening skills and trust come into play. That is the first step of building a business relationship, is learning your customer, listening to the problem, and figuring out a solution. So my 40s and 50-year-old clients are celebrities. Some of them are stay-at-home moms. They range from different skill sets. And what I had to learn is to listen and not interrupt people when they're talking. Are you listening, young people? To listen and then speak after you've heard everything. Because I have missed out on content going to school, and I struggled with getting my master's. It took me 5 years to get my master's, and that does not matter. I have it. At the end of the day, it's done. But the steps that it took to get done, those 5 years of hitting my head up against the wall and falling into the rabbit's hole and getting myself back up to want to go to class and do homework and turn it in the way that my teacher wanted it done. Not the way the student wanted to turn it in, but the way that the teacher wanted it turned in. It took me 5 years to appreciate my professor. Those are the lessons that I explain to young people who haven't went through those things, that I've done that. I've been there. It gets you to this, this, and this. So if you want this, this, and this, go right ahead. But if you follow this, this, and that, your outcome might be different. This is how I have to change my way of thinking when I talk to people who are in their 20s and 30s versus 40s and 50s, because the experience level is worlds apart in the conversations that I have with the two different age groups. Tell me about your business, the best selling points, and what it is that you offer. Well, since I am a brand, which is WifeyLyfe, we offer love, encouragement, and a listening ear. And from WifeyLyfe and the branding and the marketing and the reaching out and knocking on the doors has opened up so many opportunities for MrsWifeyLyfe, the person behind the brand. And I think that's also important to understand, that MrsWifeyLyfe is a person who's experienced things. And WifeyLyfe is the brand that I have developed to share those experiences with other women or wives or people who desire to be married. And that's as far as it goes for me. Every day is a day of encouragement. It's a day that I stumble and fall and I get back up. It's a day that me and my husband discuss something and it's worth sharing with someone. But in my business life, my AskSnow life, I had to be able to multitask, and I was failing at that. I was failing at wife, mommy, career person, and putting career before wife and mother, and that combination did not work. Now that I'm at this stage where I'm able to multitask better and organize and stick to schedules the same way that I used to run a business, the same way where I used to go and punch a clock every morning to go to someone's job, I have to do those same steps in my real life in order for AskSnow Management and events to get off the ground and be something more than just a page on Facebook, and that it becomes a place that people know that when you ask Snow something, that she's going to give it to you, 1, real, and 2, it's going to be based on facts, and 3, she's probably researched it and she knows what she's talking about. Who are your clients and are they high profile? My clients is anyone who will listen first, because as a brand, I am marketing and I'm sending out content every day about something I'm experiencing as a wife. So to pinpoint my demographic, I have a niche audience. And my niche audience would be wives, mothers, single moms, women going through life and doing it the best way that they know how. I don't judge what these individuals go through in their lives. But as I increase the brand of WifeyLyfe, I also have now been getting the husbands sending DMs and emails asking questions relating to husband issues. And how could I blame them for that if I'm walking around and smiling and tweeting and Instagram and how happy I am and my king is wonderful, and then his wife's at home grumpy because her stomach hurts or the kids done got on her nerves all day and she hasn't communicated that properly to her king? Then whose fault is it really at the end of the day? We see celebrities vent on social media every day, all day. And I am that one person that will knock on that door and ask them if they're okay. Because I don't care how much money you make. You are still a person. You put your pants on one leg at a time like I do. And we all struggle. You don't think that celebrities struggle with fame, or when they want to rebrand themselves from what they did in their 20s and now they're in that 15 minutes of fame and they want to do something different with their name? Those are the clients I directly market to. Since I am a 90s baby born in the 70s, we did not do a lot of, well, we didn't have social media and Twitter and Instagram and all that good stuff. Now, we had cameras, so I definitely have pictures that I do share depending on the situation of me with celebrities. But it's not me being with celebrity is what you should focus on. You should be focusing on what it is that I'm saying and what I learned from hanging out with said celebrity. That's what I offer. That's what I share. And that's what AskSnow Management is about. That's what WifeyLyfe is about. I still go to events now with my husband, of course. I am from the old school, so I really don't try to put on social media the artists that I've worked with or the celebrities that I do know and in communication with, because they believe in discretion. When you work behind the scenes, you get to really see how an artist interacts with different members of the staff, be it the director, from the producer to the extra to the talent to the person that's bringing his coffee. Each artist moves differently. And that was another reason why I chose a degree in human performance and technology, because the world was changing. So I wanted to make sure that I was, with the trend of technology, but I wanted to really be able to understand and communicate people's behavior to situations. And as I was learning those steps and tips, I was applying them to my own day-to-day and watching my life change and watching my processes in life get easier, and the weight that I carry get a lot easier to handle when you have set processes in place to follow. That's in your personal life and in your business life. Top 5 tips for men of color would be the same 5 tips for women of color. 1, know your business, know your brand, know yourself. 2, do not share all your information that separates you from everyone else, because you never know when someone comes in your path that does not mean to do you good. 3, closed mouths don't get fed. If you don't ask for the business and knock on the door, the opportunity will not present itself. But the grind of becoming MrsWifeyLyfe started 2 years ago when I formed WifeyLyfe as a private group on Facebook. Women frustrated with life, and we have this title of being wives, and we needed a place to go. So 5, be prepared. You have to be able to sell you, whatever it is that you do. If you are prepared and you get your 2 minutes of a yes. If I can't stress enough on being prepared and knowing you and your brand and what you stand for, you can be able to communicate that quickly within 30 to 60 seconds, then that's my first challenge to you, is to be able to explain yourself in 30 to 60 seconds, because that's all a yes is going to give you. That's all that first ear is going to give you. It is tested. It is proven. You can Google it if you want to. How long do you actually have when you've gained the attention of your audience? And there's strategies out there that once you've gained your audience, what do you do with them then? When you've captivated them and you've brought them in through your law of attraction, and all your marketing tips and strategies have worked, and your viewership and followers have surpassed your wildest dreams, then what? What do you do? Is your content ready? Is your website ready? All the things that a business person or an executive, which would be where my skill level is in this world with 20 years, I would ask those questions. I look for things that people don't look for on your Facebook page. Do I see your banners? I am very visual. Does the image match what they're saying? Is the information on their website match what they're tweeting about on Instagram? And about 65% of the time, they do not. There's something visually missing from each website of someone in their 40s and 50s. Did you hear what I'm saying? Someone who's in their 40s and 50s, I will see missing banners all day, every day. But if I go and want to communicate and have a conversation with somebody in their 20s and 30s, you can best believe they have a Facebook picture, they have a handler page, they have their website, they're tweeting, they have Instagram, they have a YouTube page. Everything is there, and they have not went to one day of school, of college. I'm confident in myself, and I'm sure you hear a southern accent or something that you might judge me into thinking that she's hillbilly-ish. She doesn't know what she's talking about. No, I've learned to enunciate my words better. I've learned to slow down my speech so I'm able to think before I speak. These are the lessons that I talk to when I'm approached by someone who's in their 20s and in their 30s. The management style changes between the two demographics of 20s and 30s and 40s and 50s. Top spiritual persona branding trends to help my readers transition from summer to fall. Well, I am a trendsetter, so I would say readers follow me because my brand is WifeyLyfe, and I am walking the footsteps of a Christian, and in that in itself would mean I walk with my head held high, and I attempt to walk in truth, and I only speak on what I know, what I've seen, what I've learned for myself. I would say prayer. Pray to whatever higher being you believe in. Some people don't believe in God, and I am not here to judge you. If they believe in their children, if they see God in their man, if they see God in the sky, if they see God in the stars, I see the heavens and the stars, and I choose to go reach for them. Others choose other paths, and that's okay. But you do have to find an inner sense of self, because this world will beat you down and take every bit of strength and every bit of breath that you have and try to defeat you in your purpose of life of just living, just being you. The word says just live life according to the word. And if you choose to want to read it, that's on you. I have, and that is the living example that I display in everything that I do, from WifeyLyfe to AskSnow Management, from being a sister, from being a wife, to being a mom, to being a niece, to being someone's daughter. My morals don't change because I was raised a particular type of way. My mother invested in making sure we were raised in a Christian way. She didn't beat it over our head, because when we were old enough to be able to make those decisions on our own, I still chose to go to church because I believe in a higher power, and his name is God. And I believe in his son, Jesus Christ. And I believe in me. So if you believe in you, then do you. Don't be afraid to step out on whatever it is and do you and be you, because whomever made us, that was his only purpose, was to make us great, to be super and better than the generations before. That is my ministry. That is my stewardship, is to preach that word, that we can do anything that we put our minds to it. We can do it alone, which is hard. Entrepreneurs know it's hard, but we can also do it together, which make us all a team and make us all winners. This is Synovia Parks. I appreciate this opportunity to speak with you today.
Showed up, Shawty. What it do? Yeah. Now, pimpin'. Oh boy.